Hey, welcome to a long overdue episode of Tuesday Night Beer School with me, Chad, and
Chris.
Tina.
I'm changing it up.
So, we've been doing this show. I mean, I've been doing this show for years, and there's this whole section in the guidelines called historical styles. They don't even have like numbers. It's usually like, 9A, Doppelbock, and or whatever. But these don't even have numbers. They go by the name because hardly anybody makes these beers anymore.
Oh.
So this is the style we're doing tonight is called kellerbier, or at least that's what the BJCP calls it. But it's also known as, actually, let me bring this up here. Should have this ready. So I asked ChatGPT to list all the different aliases. So Zwickel beer, landbier, vollbier, naturtrübes beer, Holzfass beer. I don't know. But yeah, so it has a lot of different names. I think landbier and Zwickel beer and kellerbier are the most popular. So anyway, that's the BJCP calls it kellerbier. So originally it was a Marzen style, but it can be basically like any German lager style can be a kellerbier, and you'll find out in a second why. So overall impression: an unfiltered, unpasteurized, fully attenuated German lager, traditionally served from lagering vessels, maybe a little richer, more robust and rustic than the base styles. A fresh beer without fermentation defects associated with young, green, unfinished beer. So the traditional serving style, more than a beer style, yet these beers do have sensory differences from the base beers. Consider the range of Keller beers based on Helles to Marzen. It can even be Dunkel. The name literally means cellar beer. So it's funny because like Keller, cellar, the only difference is a C or a K. Mm-hmm. It might even, I bet you cellar was originally pronounced Keller. Like English actually derived from
Old German.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do say lager beer. They say like British bitters, best enjoyed locally as bottle examples may lack the character. I'm sure. So, so the history is basically when they couldn't wait to bottle or can it or whatever, like they just, like it said before, just they poured it right off the lagering, those huge vessels,
Uh-huh.
like they couldn't wait to get it into kegs or casks or whatever. So,
Oh, cool.
All right, so character ingredients. Same as base styles, traditionally naturally carbonated. Dry hopping is not traditional German brewing methods, but some modern pale examples use this technique, which is allowable in this style as long as it's balanced. Traditionally lagered and unfiltered, these beers were never meant to be packaged for external sale.
But they did.
Yeah. Richer and more robust than the base style. They already said that. Possibly with a bit more body and mouthfeel, can be slightly cloudier than the base beer. So if we look at the commercial examples, you see like kellerbier, naturtrübe, which means like natural trube, which is like the sediment when you're brewing.
Okay.
You say Zwickel. All right, so for our examples, we have an authentic German style. I'm gonna show that one.
Yeah, we have Grevenstiener.
Yep, it's just called original. So they're calling that one a land beer, although I'm not 100% sure like what the base style is. And I got this one actually on Tavor. This is another one from Urban Chestnut. They're out of St. Louis. This one's just called Zwickel, Bavarian style lager.
Zwickel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We already have our beers poured. I poured it into each beer into the big lager glass so I could get a picture.
It's easy to tell them apart.
Yeah. So yeah, at least we won't have any confusion on that one. So
yeah.
Let's start with the German one since that would be the home team.
Makes sense.
This one's very bready.
This one just smells like beer to me.
Yeah.
Like when I think beer, this is it.
To me, it's bready. It's not hoppy at all. I'm not getting really real hops.
No, there's a sweetness there. Anything?
Yeah, are you getting cardboard or?
Nope.
I think I get like a little bit of like lemon lollipop or something like that.
See, I'm not getting lemon. I'm just like thinking it's kind of sweet, which with the German beers, I typically think it kind of smells a little sweet.
Well, they shouldn't, like German beers are never really sweet except for like maybe like the wheat beer or something,
They smell sweet though.
Yeah. I don't know. To me, it's just very malty, bready. Kind of smell like it's almost like sort of like a dunkel, but with like out the chocolatey notes. Like, did you get like a little bit of toast on that or pretzel?
Yeah, it's got a toasty smell.
All right, let's try the American. Now, to me, this one smells more fizzy yellow beer.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, to me, this is a difference between. I mean, you can just tell by looking at them between the smell of, like, kind of like raw grain and like kilned grain.
Mm-hmm.
Because like, I'm sure this one was like the grain in this one was the German one is kilned a lot longer than this because this is like basically, it's just straight up like grain.
It's only good. It's definitely not as strong as the German one.
Really? Like as far as the intensity of the aroma? Or?
Yeah, it's just a very light aroma. Like I can barely
Really?
pick anything up.
To me it seems the opposite. I feel like this one has a bit stronger.
Actually, well, yeah, okay, that's weird.
I think because maybe this glass has more nose room, you know. But this one has a little bit of like maybe lemony kind of hops in it.
Yeah, I do get the lemony hops.
Yeah.
On this one.
But to me, yeah, it just smells like. To me, it just smells like grain and a little bit. I would assume that they're using German hops in here, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
All right. By the way, so we don't 100% know like what like the base style of this is. I'm gonna assume Munich Helles, which is basically just the German standard lager, like kind of like the Heineken of Germany. You know, like nothing fancy about it.
Yeah.
All right, so let's check the specs. Aroma reflects base style. May have an added bready, yeasty character from the yeast. That's kind of redundant. A yeasty character from the yeast.
Yeah.
As opposed from the something else. Clean. Pale versions can have a more robust hop character. Okay. Dark versions have a richer malt profile.
Yeah, makes sense.
You know, I would venture to guess that the German beer, this is probably a Dunkelbock or a Oktoberfest. This might actually be like a Marzen. That's probably what it is. It's probably like a Marzen base style.
Yeah, it's weird because after smelling the American style, I can barely smell the German style in comparison. That's weird.
All right, so how are we going to score this? The Grevenstiener.
Steiner.
I think it's old, but
Yeah.
it's still doing what it's supposed to do. I'm going to go kind of high. I'm going to say 10.
Yeah, I'll do a 10 on that.
Okay. And the Urban Chestnut, I don't know, 9 or 10. I'll start with 9.
I'll do a 10.
10.
I think they both meet it, yeah.
All right, you know, I'm going to give it 10 too. All right. Appearance, well, here's where I post in the video of me pouring it into the glass, and you can see the Grevensteiner is, what do you call it, amber orange? Definitely got a bit of a haze to it.
It's amber, and yeah, it's murky. You can't see through it.
Which, again, because it's probably old. It did get some head when I poured it, but it's, you know, we transferred it to this glass. So
it had quite a bit of head, too, for a little bit.
The Zwickel, the Urban Chestnut, looks just like a standard lager. I call that yellow gold.
Yeah. It's got pretty good clarity on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not crystal clear. It's definitely got a little bit of haze to it. Mm-hmm. And it did, again, also had a lot of foam when I poured it. Let's check the specs. Appearance reflects base style. What a surprise. Can be somewhat hazy or cloudy, but never murky. That's funny, you said murky.
Murky.
Like a little darker in appearance than the base style, yeah. I think by murky, they kind of mean like the way like a hazy IPA would be, you know? Or like, there'd be like sediment floating in it or something. You know?
I know, but that is the term I used, and it says never murky, so I'll have to penalize them for that.
I don't know. It depends on what your definition of murky is, because like they're saying hazy or cloudy, but not murky. I don't know. It seems like they're arguing semantics to me. I'm gonna give both a 3. What do you think?
I will give the
Grevenstiener
a 2 for being murky, and then a 3.
Okay. All right. Here comes the best part. We'll start with the Grevenstiener.
Yeah.
Prost, as they would say.
Prost. Huh.
What's there?
There's like a... I don't know if it's lemon. There's something tart right from the get-go.
I wouldn't say tart.
Sour? What is that?
No, I'm not getting like. I mean, I think it's just oxidation you're picking up on.
That's not
Because to
good.
me, it was like kind of sweet at first.
There is sweetness there, but there is kind of a tartness, and for me, it kind of lingers after it's gone.
Yeah, it's like a tang on the finish. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's not like a sour. Or actually, if you get the bottom of the can, because it's supposed to be unfiltered, so you should have some, sediment. Which, also, again, bear in mind that this can is at least a year old, if not 2 years.
It's been through a lot.
It is. It's funny because going off the aroma, it smelled kind of rich and complex, like very bready.
Yeah.
But now that I'm tasting it, like to me, this tastes like I don't know, like kind of like a watered down Oktoberfest.
That's a good explanation for it. Something about it's not hitting the way that the Oktoberfest typically do.
Yeah.
Or just the German beers.
I
It's
can
very light.
I can taste the hops in there though. Yeah, and I think the lightness is, I mean, just the fact that it's been sitting around for a while, so it's not super fresh. It's only 5.2. It's not, a super strong beer.
Yeah.
I will say, I'm tasting darker malt, but it feels like it's kind of like watered down, which is kind of the opposite, because they said it's usually more robust than the base style.
Yeah.
And this isn't near, I don't get any chocolate, I don't get any toffee. Are you getting toast?
No. Which is weird because I was getting it on the aroma, so I was expecting that.
Yeah, it's just from age, I can tell.
Yeah.
It's definitely oxidized.
It's just okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, I'm pretty sure this is like a Marzen base style, not Dunkel or Bach.
Yeah.
All right, we'll move on to the American Zwickel, Urban Chestnut. Cheers.
Prost. I got nothing. Do you taste anything?
To me, it's just like the taste of grain. To me, it's like the taste of like Turo. Not really Pilsnery. I don't know. I think the Grevenstiener kind of lingers on the tongue.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have started with the American one first. Yeah, I'm not tasting much.
Yeah, I agree. It's actually pretty mild. Mm-hmm. Let's empty out the can. Maybe you get some. This beer is this style is supposed to be unfiltered, but this looks pretty filtered to me.
Yeah, it's like unfiltered water. It just tastes like sink water. Not even. Sink water is more interesting.
There is kind of like a slight peppery kind of hop flavor there.
I get it on the very end.
Yeah, it's not citrusy. It doesn't taste like an American beer at all.
Not at all. There's really not a lot of flavor on this.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think that's kind of what they're going for. Is
Just boring.
well, they're just going for like a simple beer. Flagship lager of our Reverend series, unfiltered, unpasteurized German style classic. And they're just, what's the ABV on this? This is 5.1. But yes, I mean, to me this is like it's just a Helles lager, I assume, unpasteurized, unfiltered.
Yeah.
I mean, also it does not taste oxidized.
No.
Are you getting lemon lollipop or cardboard or anything?
I'm not getting anything. Like, I've had beers like this before where there's just nothing.
Yeah.
It's not refreshing. It's not citrusy. It's not bready.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just me, though.
But to me, but does it have like that German je ne sais quoi character to it? Like,
No.
Yeah, like this doesn't taste like something you would have at Hollerbox.
Not at all.
All right, let's check the specs on flavor. Reflex base style may have an added bready, yeasty character from the yeast. Again, redundant.
Yeah.
Pale versions can have a more robust hop character. Dark versions may have a richer malt profile, but should never be roasty. You know, we didn't get roasted.
Not roasty.
Yeah, maybe slightly more bitter than the base style, maybe a little heavier in the finish. Fully fermented with the clean fermentation profile should not have an eggy, butter, apple-like, or similar flaws.
I don't know. Apple might be an improvement.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Grevenstiener is... We both said it's mild, it's oxidized, but it does have, like,
The
some character
Germanness.
to it. Yeah.
You can tell it's a German beer.
It's just, I mean, again, bear in mind we're drinking or we're reviewing this can, not the product in general. So, I mean, I'm sure if it was fresh, it'd be way better, but this particular can is... this might seem low, it might seem high, I don't know. I'm going to go 14. I feel like that's a little generous.
You think so?
Yeah.
Oh. Just this particular can.
Yeah.
I'll give it a 15.
15?
Yeah.
Okay. And for the Urban Chestnut, yeah, I'm going to go pretty low on this one. I'm thinking like 9.
Yeah. I was going to do 10.
10. Whoops. 41.
Hell no.
All right, let's talk about mouthfeel. We never mentioned that. It's got a bit of body to it.
Yeah, it's like a medium.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Kind of low carbonation, which I kind of think
Extremely.
makes it seem a little more watery than it is or should be.
Yeah, it might make it seem a little bit heavier too.
Yeah. And the Urban Chestnut, this one's really light for 5%.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it is. 5%.
And this one's almost still, you know,
Yeah.
like it's like cider, like it's hardly even carbonated.
Mine has nothing going on in it. It's just
I know, and
flat.
And this is the delirium glass with the nucleation points, because usually whenever you're drinking out of one of these, it's just constantly bubbling, you know?
Can beer go flat?
Yeah.
Do you think it's flat?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's completely flat,
Okay.
but it's, but these styles are supposed to be, oh, it's not the, it's just, it's normal for them to be lower in carbonation than the base style.
Yeah.
At least I think that's what the specs say, if I remember.
Let's find out.
All right, mouthfeel, reflex base style. May have a bit more body and a creamier texture than the base style. Carbonation typical of the base style, but may be lower. Okay.
Well, what?
All right, I mean,
So,
I would say both have less body. I could see creamier texture, because like, if it's so low in carbonation, it's almost like creamy / watery, you know?
yeah.
Carbonation typical of base style, but maybe lower.
I don't know what to base that on, the base style.
Well, the German is like Oktoberfest, and the Zwickel is just like a German pale lager, you know?
Yeah, those aren't extremely carbonated, are they?
They're, you know, pretty crispy.
Crispy.
Yeah, crispy boys. Both of them are flawed from them. I'm going to go 3 for the German. What do you think?
I'll do a 3.
I'm going to go 2 for the American.
I'll do a 3 as well.
No, I thought you were going to say 2.
Actually, it is really. I think it's flat, but I don't
Yeah.
know. Like,
All right, so overall, well, I have to say I was disappointed in this one, because this is a fresh can, and these guys do make pretty good beers in general.
who is it?
Urban Chestnut out of St. Louis.
Okay.
And
St. Louis.
this one didn't surprise me, just because I know this is an old can.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's definitely, you can tell that it's authentic German.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as overall scores, I mean, if the Grevenstiener, if this was fresh, this would probably be 9, 10. This is, I'm going to say 7.
My average is a 7.
Okay.
Based on the math.
And this one's like a 5.
I'll do a 6. Is my average?
32. I don't know. You went over 30. That's pretty generous.
All right, then I'll give the Urban Chestnut a 4.
4.
Just because it's boring.
Yeah.
It's so boring.
Yeah.
I mean, it does meet the style for appearance, aroma, but other than that,
yeah.
no.
Yeah, and just even if you don't know like what the base style was, it's
I
agree. It's still pretty boring beer.
It's boring.
It's surprising.
It's not refreshing. It's nothing.
Yeah. All right, so it's been a while since you've been here. What, you learn anything tonight?
Yeah, this beer translates into cellar beer.
Yeah. And
it's made with spring water.
no.
It is too. It says so on the can.
No, I meant the style.
Oh, the style.
Like it's called cellar beer because like it's the thing you need to remember about kellerbier is the use the unpasteurized, unfiltered.
Unpasteurized, unfiltered.
Yeah, and so it's kind of like, before these because like a lot of packaged commercial beer like this gets pasteurized before they ship it out, and usually pasteurization. I mean, it makes longer shelf life, but it also you sacrifice flavor that way.
You sure do.
Yeah. So I mean, if I can get fresher examples. Well, if I can get especially this or one like it, I wouldn't mind doing a redo, but it's fun to do a really niche beer style for this. So, it's funny. This show used to be weekly, and now it's like monthly. So, yeah. All right. Well, thanks to Chris for coming over, and
of course.
We'll see you next time.
Cheers.
Somebody brewed it, Chad just reviewed it. Thanks for watching Chad's Beer Reviews. Trust me, the next episode will be a lot better.